everyone. Welcome back to Coffee, Cocktails, and Capitalism. I'm Morgen Reynolds of Beyond the Trend, and today I am sitting here with a good friend, former Main Street neighbor. He's still on Main Street. We miss being able to walk down the street and have a drink, so instead we were like, let's just roll up here and have some drinks in my office, because why not?
Why not? That's right.
So, Joe Chiarella, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Joe is the owner of Sihle Insurance here in Vero Beach, and we're going to talk about how he got to this illustrious point in his career. He does very well for himself, is very well known in town, serves on several nonprofit boards as well. So we're going to talk about insurance, community, the industry, and, what it's like to kind of build a business. So,
okay.
In the meantime, we'll be drinking these amazing Mai Tais that Ray Hooker from Indian River Distillery made for us. So if you missed that video, go back and watch it. It's a classic Mai Tai with a very, very special barrel of rum. Jack Sparrow would be jealous, I believe. So
That's very good.
Yes. Anyways, without further ado, Joe, how are you? Thank you for being here.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. This is great. This is a good opportunity to come in and see you again and participate in your podcast. So thank you very much.
Yeah, we appreciate you being here. And I told a few friends that you were coming on, and everyone was like, okay, good, because I don't know anything about insurance.
Oh. How long do we have?
Well, we have to cut it off at some point.
I like to talk about insurance.
Says.
Yeah. No, I like to talk about insurance, so we can be here all day. Insurance is a unique thing. It's one of those things that you kind of have to have in most scenarios, and nobody likes to pay for it. And it's very hard to understand, so it's complicated. So going into it, you have to be very understanding of that and understand that you're there to kind of sell a product, but at the same time, help them understand and navigate through it. And therein lies the challenge of our industry based on sales tactics and, agents who do, desperate things to try to write business, and you have to overcome all of that, and especially when market cycles happen. And we talked a little bit about that before the podcast of soft market, hard market, and where are we at in all of this. So, absolutely. So you want me to just start about where, the history and where it came from, or?
Well, yeah, let's go back to where were you born and raised?
I was born in Haverstraw, New York, actually, and was very, very young when my parents moved down here. So my grandparents on both sides moved down to Florida. They did the whole Florida retiree thing.
Oh, nice.
And both were older and needed some extra care from families. So my parents moved down to Florida. And Vero Beach was chosen because it was halfway between Orlando and West Palm, where each of them were.
It is a great location. Yeah.
So this is back in the late 70s, early 80s. So back then, much smaller town than it is now. And they kind of went through the gambit. They looked at Fort Pierce, Vero, Sebastian. And back then, Vero just made the most sense. So schooling was great and everything else. So I was probably about 6 or 7 when I moved down here. So very young. So most of the time I've been in Vero Beach. And
so what was Vero like? Because I've been here about 8 years, and a lot of people have said, oh, back in the day, it's changed so much. But what are maybe a couple specific things that you noticed that are really different?
Right off the bat, citrus. That we used to walk outside and smell the citrus groves from wherever you were in town. You could just walk out and smell the orange. That was great. Fireflies were another thing. We had fireflies back then. You don't see them anymore. I
thought they just didn't have them in Florida.
Well, we had them. And so that's been kind of a long-standing thing. I don't know really why. I've heard mosquito control, but I don't know for sure. But went through the school system, Citrus Elementary, Gifford Middle, Vero Junior High School, Vero High School. Went through the whole thing, graduated in 92. Seems like forever ago.
It's not that long ago.
Yeah, it seems like a long
We'll
time
tell
ago.
ourselves it's not that long ago.
Yeah. Was heavily involved in the band, was in the drum line. So
nice.
we had a great time. James Sammons was our teacher, and really kind of went through the whole high school career with marching, symphonic, jazz, all those things. I love playing percussion and being into it.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was fun.
Do you keep drums at home at all?
I have them. I don't play them as much. It's been a while, but when I went to college, I went to UF in 92 and graduated in 96, and really just focused on the college experience. So I kind of left band behind, a little regretful of that. I should have stuck with it. But I went to UF and had kind of a dual major in criminal justice and sociology, and I spent a lot of time, a lot of fun, a lot of money just going through the experience. And I think the best part about it was learning. It sounds kind of hokey in today's world, but back then, Vero was very small and a very small ecocenter of diversity. So to go to a place like Gainesville and see different people, religions, faiths, everything just overloaded. sensories.
Kind of it's cliche to say you broaden your horizons in college, but
sure.
you really do.
You did,
That's
yeah,
kind of the point.
absolutely,
Yeah.
And I had a great time up there. And I'm sorry about
It's
that.
an insurance emergency, you
No,
guys.
it's not. I thought I turned this off. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So, no, I had a great time up there. And then I came back in 96 and did some work with law enforcement. So I was in law enforcement for a while. And in 2002, shifted careers. It was time for something different. And my wife was pushing me for a different kind of job that was less overnights and weekends and lower pay. Much respect for law enforcement because they do a great job, and I love our local police.
It is hard work.
It's hard work.
Be very stressful and hard on a family.
Absolutely,
yeah, for sure.
absolutely. So, kind of fell into insurance. Believe it or not, when I was switching careers, I really didn't have an idea of what I wanted to do. I applied for all kinds of things because I had no idea. Restaurants, landscaping, accounting.
Were you just door knocking?
Door knocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking at, I was again a young person and didn't really have a network. So how I got into insurance was my mother. My mother was working for a company in town, and she had an insurance agent that was kind of helping their business every year.
Oh, okay.
And she said, "Hey, if he can do it, you can do it. You're a smart guy, so see what you can find out." And I did a few interviews, landed at an agency in downtown called Sihle Insurance. And it was located right on the corner across from your old office, actually.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Right on that
in
corner.
like the Arbor building there?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
And Sid was a great mentor. I don't want to say boss because he was more of a mentor. He was old Vero, very citrus oriented, and a very low-key, low-pressure guy. So he believed in relationships, working with those who work with you, community involvement, philanthropy, all those things. And those are the things he kind of taught me in the beginning. And I kind of joke around because when you're young and you're new and you don't know anything, it's easy to get distracted and intimidated, right? So
Sure, yeah.
I'm sitting in the office and there's people that have been doing it way longer than me who know all the ins and outs of what we do, and I'm the new kid that's trying to figure out how to run a copy machine. Like I had no understanding of anything.
Which kids nowadays won't even know what that is.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So I would sit there and I'd pull my phone out and start looking at my phone, and he would come by around the corner and he'd say, "Well, if you have time to look at your phone, you have time to take the trash out." And so go around, collect the trash cans and dump it out the back. And I kind of call it the Miyagi dojo of insurance training because he was trying to do he was trying to teach me a lesson actually. And the next one was, if you can sit there and play on your phone, you can change a light bulb. So I was changing ballasts over office chairs, and very soon I kind of learned not to play on my phone.
That's
and
hilarious.
pay attention. So he was, again, looking back, I mean, lessons learned, and he was a great boss and great mentor. But so anyway, got into the insurance world, and in 2004 we had Francis and Jean. So I was 2 years into it, still brand new, and we had a very active hurricane season. Direct hits on Vero Beach.
Were those both in 2004?
Yes.
Okay.
That 1 year, I think we had 5 storms that intersected the state, and 2 of them came right across Vero
Oh my
from
gosh.
the east. And they were rough. We hadn't had storms like that in years, so almost trial by fire, right? So I jumped into it. No infrastructure, the power was off, no phones. We were sitting outside on tables, handwriting claim forms from people in lines who were trying to get their claims filed because emails and all that was not a thing. It wasn't available because the infrastructure was down. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I took claim forms in. I got a solid education about why coverage matters, so learned through that. And then there was an acquisition. So kind of the theme of all this career was working for an agency, it gets acquired. Working for an agency, it gets acquired. That happened 3 times.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it kind of followed me over the years. So I left that agency and went to Felton Associates on the beach after Sid had sold the company and retired. So went to work for them and had a great time. The day I started, they announced they sold to another company.
No.
Yep. So it was like,
rough
come on
timing.
board. Yeah. So we sold you yesterday. I'm like, oh, great. So I worked for, again, another corporate company here in town, and one of the bigger shops. And I learned a lot of great things. I know publicly and LinkedIn, I kind of knock some of the big chains. There's a lot of reasons why, but there's also a lot of things they do well. It's just being fair. And so I was able to kind of take the best of both worlds, independent, large chain, and kind of make it my own, right? And then disregard all the bad stuff. And if you want to know more, I can tell you. But so anyway, I worked with them for a couple of years. I had great success with them. And then an opportunity came along with Vero Insurance. And very fortunate to have worked under the Swearings and Brad Emmons and those guys recruited me to come on board and build a commercial department. So
Oh, interesting.
yeah, it was great. It was very entrepreneurial. I was able to kind of start something from scratch, and had great bosses to kind of push me through that,
Yeah.
and had a great time. And I would say about, I don't know, 7 or 8 years after that is when Marsh McLennan bought us. So it was
Okay.
another acquisition. And again,
Yeah.
great people, no complaints about the structure. It just wasn't for me.
Right.
Corporate is hard when
Right.
it comes to Vero Beach, right?
Well, and it feels like in general in the insurance industry, right? Because those clients need their insurance people for long periods of time. Eventually
Yeah.
people are going to retire. So probably that merger and acquisition happens a lot
It does.
across the industry.
It does. In our industry, it's been pretty aggressive, and I think it's a couple of reasons for it. You know, there's age considerations. You've got legacy owners that have been around for years who are retiring,
Yeah.
and the easy option is to kind of just sell and and live your life. And
Yeah.
and a lot of the names that you've seen around town over the years who have done very well for themselves are no longer here. So you've got almost like a void, if you will, of independent agencies
Okay.
that are not corporate backed.
Right.
So that's kind of where the Sihle insurance thing came up. So about 7 years ago, again, I had been talking, we're pretty active in the industry at this point. You know people and see people at conventions and stuff. And the Sihle insurance group approached me. And we had a conversation about their model, which sounded different and unique, and I hadn't heard that before.
Worth looking
and
into a little bit.
it was worth it, yeah. It was worth looking into. I didn't quite get it at first because the way it's structured, it didn't make sense to me. But I did some research. I talked to the people involved who have done it before, kind of realized maybe this is a good opportunity, and it's been a great move. So it's been 7 years. I own the agency.
Wow.
I'm an equity partner of the company. We've got 9 locations, 200 employees, and Vero office does very well in the short time we've been open. And we focus on everything, big, small, personal lines, commercial lines, health, life, we do everything. And it's been great. The clients I've reached out to and we've had for many years appreciate the personalized service, because unfortunately a byproduct of that acquisition is outsourcing, doing more for less, having call centers versus people, and people get displaced a little bit on the client side.
Yeah.
So it's nice for them to call somebody and get a response. And I joke because we have an advertisement on the Go line, and my cell phone's on the side of it. And people are like, "Is it okay if I share your number?" I'm like, "I'm on the side of a bus. I don't care."
It's too late for all
It's
that.
too late. It's too late for all that. So no, but it's all partnerships. We give, like Sid taught me, we give back to those who give to us. It's a relationship town. It still is, even though we say it's grown and it's changed. But I love it. I love what I do. I love helping people. It sounds cliched, but I love it.
Yeah.
And especially in a topic like insurance, where it's so complicated and expensive and painful, when you can actually sit down with somebody and take the time to explain it to them,
Yeah.
they really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And more, it's hard to find any industry that
Yeah.
will sit down and explain things to you.
That is true.
Yeah, I think
is
you're
true.
right. In Vero, we're very fortunate that we can walk into our bank and our bankers know us. We can walk into our insurance office and they know us.
Yeah.
There's
Yes.
a lot of business service industries here still where you can find somebody who you can work with on a personal level versus
Yeah.
like using an app online or something like that. So.
Yeah. Well, being local, it's too, you see these people at Publix, you see them out when you're having dinner with your family, like you see these people and you look them in the eyes. So I feel like you have to kind of do it right, because you have to save face and have reputation to protect.
There is accountability in
Yes.
this town.
Absolutely.
And when I first moved here from Chicago, that's one of the first things that I noticed is this is not the town where you can go to Publix in your pajamas.
No. And
You
have
will
to-
run into a client, an employer, your boss,
yeah.
a manager, somebody is going to be there, your crush. Like, no, just put on your clothes if you're going out.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. And think about the other side too. I mean, we kind of talk about rate and coverage and policies and renewals, but the other side of it is claims. And I want to kind of touch on that. So when Milton came through a couple of years ago, we had the tornado obviously came through the beach.
Yeah.
And I had personally about 40 claims that were filed.
Wow.
And they're all not catastrophic. Some were big, some were small. But every single time that we had a claim report, I went to their house or their business. Because you sell, like in our business, we sell promises. It's not something tangible. Like you can't sell something and say, okay, here's your product, and you walk away.
Right.
You're selling a piece of paper with a bunch of numbers and terms that you don't understand. And so you're making a promise to somebody that it's
Yeah.
going to do what it's supposed to do
Yeah.
when the event happens. So when the claim happens, I feel like, and again, it sounds cliched, but I feel like you have an obligation to show up and look the adjuster and the insured in the face and say, is this going to work? Like, is the adjuster a good one? Is the insured happy? Like, And to be honest with you, there were a couple of claims where adjusters showed up and right off the bat, they were horrible. Like I kind of knew like it was going to go south. So intervene fast on the front end versus the reactionary side. So we kind of get on ahead of it and say, we need somebody else out here. But overall, I mean, they ranged from severe to small. We had one condo on the beach where the roof came completely off at the second floor from the tornado, and we had some as small as some shingles on a home that were barely touched, but still they wanted somebody to come and look at it. But overall, I think that's kind of the other end of this. So, in which we talked about before, coverage rate, what you're selling people, and unfortunately in our business, it is a sales-driven business, and agents are compensated on the policies they sell. So when you put commissions behind it, the intention shifts a little bit on the salesperson. Younger, and I hate to pick on younger generations, but a lot of young people in the industry don't know or haven't learned yet the consequence side of selling bad policies. So they're out there trying to make money and earn a living and do what they got to do, but it's, hey, I'll throw it at the wall and see if it sticks, and hopefully we don't have a problem, right? I can't live like that. So I got to sleep at night, and I got to look these people in the face, and if they have a giant claim denial for something that is inherent to their operations, they're going to look at me and go, why did you miss this? So it is important. And are we always the cheapest? No, I never claim to be, but I'm going to do it right. And either that's the client for us, or they can go somewhere else. So yeah.
Well, I think people are fortunate, like I said, to have an option to be able to walk in and talk it through with somebody.
Absolutely.
But let's shift gears and talk maybe a little bit broadly about insurance, right?
Sure.
So if you're a homeowner or a business owner, and what are some questions that you should be asking? Like, are there just some like a hit list of things to make sure that you understand a little bit going into getting a new policy for something?
Sure. We're talking about two different things. Homeowners insurance is a little more off the shelf. It's very vanilla template. Like, it's, unless there's some little levers you can pull here and
there.
But
well, do you want to actually touch on, in Florida specifically, for a while, people were having a hard time getting any homeowners insurance. And then, there's been state legislation and things have shifted a little bit. Like, I don't super follow it. My mortgage broker tells me what insurance I have, and I say, great.
That's great. Yeah, here you go. Yes.
Again, very fortunate in a small town. Expand a little bit on.
Sure. So that's really relating to market cycles. So in our industry, there's so many different lines of insurance: commercial, personal, benefits, life. Cycles come and go. When I say a market cycle, it's prices rise, prices fall. We're just coming out of a very hard market cycle for property in Florida. So all the complaints about price, availability, coverage, all these things that are important have kind of gone away. Like, when I say that, rates are higher, coverage is less, and there's less carriers to do it. So when you look at supply and demand principles, right, you have fewer carriers selling a product that everybody has to have. They're going to name their own price. And they're going to dictate the terms they sell it to you in.
Right.
So deductibles go up, coverage gets scaled back, everybody's kind of buying more or buying less with more money.
Right.
And it gets very problematic, especially when you have mortgages and things you have to kind of comply with the lender. Right. So for about 5 years, we've had a really tough property market. And homeowners insurance especially has caused a lot of emotion and frustration. Commercial property is the same thing, but just more of it, right? So higher premiums. You've got a large property schedule on the beach with maybe $4, $5, $10 million in value. You've got to find an insurance company that's willing to take on all that risk.
What do you mean, a property schedule?
Well, you've got, let's say you're a building owner here in town, and you own 10 buildings along Ocean Drive. Right? And each building in itself is $3 million, $4 million a piece. So when you schedule that on a policy, you've got $3 million times 6 buildings. Okay?
Yeah.
Now you've got to have an insurance company who's willing to take a premium to pay for damage for those buildings. You look at distance to the water, you look at underwriting and how it models, you look at valuations on the property itself, all these things that kind of go into it, mitigation factors on windstorm credits and things like that. So you've got to look at it from an underwriter standpoint, all of these things that go into a blender, and they come out with a rate and a premium that you're either going to like or not like, right? And usually if it's over here on the Barrier Island or it's older construction for homes, it's going to be painful. So that's kind of it's inherent to the hard market that we're in. So now the market's kind of suddenly shifted. And a lot of things you mentioned are a big part of that. So rate legislation happened in the state, so they've kind of scaled back some of the factors that were causing the rates to go up. The storms frequencies have come down, so we haven't had a couple storms in a few years, which is nice. Knock on all the wood.
Yeah.
So there's things that are relaxing. And what happens again in the supply-demand principles, right? You've got a couple markets that are kind of tiptoeing back into the state again. Where there was one, you might now have 5.
Okay.
So they're all hungry. They want to undercut the existing guy. So rates are dropping. Now you compound that more and more and more. Homeowners now have more options at lower premiums. Commercial risks have same thing. They have more options, lower premiums. So it's becoming a softer market. Competition's kicking up. So people are really getting rate savvy and they're trying to cut the rate as much as they can. Got to be careful though, because there's that balance.
Right.
There's that balance. Like you can go too far and it looks great on paper. Unfortunately, you're getting high deductibles, sublimits on buildings, things that kind of happen where you just don't know until the claim happens.
Right.
Right. And then the surprise hits. And it never should be a surprise. And to go back to your question, what should people be asking? I know the tendency for people is to kind of focus on rate. So homeowners insurance comes up, it goes up 5%. I'm going to call around. And you send, your requests out to 5 different agencies. 2 of those agencies might be, the mindset of we want to sell it right and do the right coverage. 3, 4, and 5 might be trying to get a revenue balance sheet to go up, so they want to just sell cheap and hope you write the business and never tell you that there's things that are missing. Or there's one agency in town that I've come across that actually will take your existing coverage and cut everything by points, limits, deductibles, coverage, just scale it back and kind of empty it out a little bit to manufacturally drop the rate. And then you think, oh, I'm saving money.
Right.
So
it's the same policy for less money, but
right.
It's not the same policy.
Not the same policy.
Yeah.
And
if something were to happen, you're less covered.
Yeah. I get the mailers too at home and I test them. Those little mailers that say 55% of people are overpaying for insurance. Call us now for a free quote. Here's your sample quote at $800 a year. And I'm like, I'll take that $800 quote a year. And I call them up and say, here's my stuff. And of course, it's always more expensive. And then if it's not, then I say, well, you've kind of adjusted these things, put it back, and then it's more expensive. So they do kind of manipulate and pull levers. Those are the ones that are actually more dangerous than the ones who don't know what they're doing. The ones who do know what they're doing, and they're playing around with things to kind of generate a sale. And that's the commodity side of our business, which I hate. That's the part that drives me nuts about what we do.
Yeah. Well, it's tough, right? Because things in life are necessary, but also people have to make a living, and everything costs money. So it just is what it is. For commercial insurance, what about some of these buildings that are, super old and people are having a hard time getting any type of hurricane insurance? Sometimes people are like, well, maybe I'll just self-insure, right? Which really just means not having insurance, and either it's a loss or you've got a little money in the bank maybe. Like, what does it look like kind of here close to us on the Treasure Coast, and what's happening?
Yeah, the same principles apply. I mean, rates are coming down across the board, but underwriting is still a factor. So when you look at how the building models, all those things you mentioned, age, all the factors, the rates are still kind of high compared to one that's a building that's built out of masonry that's located west of 95. Like they're going to model differently. And so when you look at that, the availability is better. Coverage the terms are getting better in it. So people who have older buildings are finding options where they used to not. So 2 years ago, we'd have a lot of people that would just say, I just want to self-insure the wind because it's too expensive. If there's no lender, you can do that. But they've got to understand that there's the other side of it. So when that random tornado comes through or the hurricane blows and the building is decimated, you've got nothing. So there are some new models that have come out. Parametric insurance is something that's new that kind of bridges that gap a little bit. There's deductible buybacks that kind of let you buy back some deductibles. They all cost money. So sometimes people don't want those to kind of follow what they've already perceived as painful on premiums.
Right.
So there are some things, and a creative agent is going to find a solution that kind of balances that price versus risk thresholds. And that's what the difference is. Yes, price is important. We got to feed our families and buy groceries, and I understand that. But when you start sacrificing the protection in the policy for the cheaper rate and don't know it, that's where the kind of the disconnect happens. And to be fair, I think that a lot of people are kind of fatigued with the whole insurance thing over the last few years. They just don't want to deal with it. And if it's a few dollars cheaper than before, they're happy.
Right.
And unfortunately, we've had lessons in the past of how that can affect when the storm hits or the fire happens.
Yeah.
I've worked some pretty large claims, especially on the commercial side, and over the years. One was a large auto dealership that burned down, and they believed in protection. They believed in coverage. Thankfully, the adjuster came out and did a good job, and they rebuilt. And
that's great.
Yeah, and honestly, as an agent, that's kind of the more that's where your heart kind of sinks, is when you get the phone call, like when that condominium lost their roof. All of us were thinking, oh, it's a Category 1. It's not that big of a deal.
Right.
Break out the Tito's. Let's have a drink. It's a hurricane party.
And then the tornadoes.
Yeah.
Nobody was expecting. Yeah.
Nobody was. And I got the phone call within minutes of the roof being torn off. And okay, I'll put the Tito's down. Let's go.
Right.
Let's go talk to
Time to
our
go to
clients.
work.
Yeah. And walking through a scene like that is very, especially when, and this is the emotional side, right? So the event happens. You get the phone call. You show up. And you see the roof gone, and people's belongings everywhere, and people holding their, the personal effects, and everything's waterlogged and soaked, like it just happened, right? And they're looking at you and saying, "Are we okay?"
Yeah.
Like that's where it hits you. And younger producers may not have had to learn that lesson yet. So yeah, that's why I kind of look at it and go, "Hey, if I'm not the cheapest, it's okay, but I'm going to do it right." And because I got to look at these people in the face and when the thing happens and make sure they're okay. And again, it sounds so corny, but it's the reality of our business. There's consequences to making mistakes. And that's just the reality of it.
Well, no, and I know that about you. I know you're a very compassionate person, and I think every industry could use a few more people like that. So you also give back in the community and are involved in some different organizations. I want to talk about that. But then also, you just vaguely alluded to your gorgeous better half. I feel like maybe the people at home would like to know how you met and found the love of your life.
Oh gosh, April. Yes, that's a funny story.
April is the best, by the way.
She
I
is
know
the
her.
best.
That's why I can say all that.
Yes, we've been married for 20, almost as long as I've been in the insurance business, 25 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah, long time. And she's put up with all of it, and bless her for
still
it.
Here.
She's still here. Yes. No, she's great. I met April. Oh gosh, it's such a weird story. I met her at a tanning salon.
That is a very different story.
I've
not heard that one before.
No, I was 28. I was in much better shape, and I was going to a tanning salon after the gym. And she walked out, and I asked who that was. And they said, "Oh, that's April. She's here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday." And then I came back on Wednesday and said hello to her. And we had a first date, and it's been that way ever since. So she's great.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And we have 2 dogs. We have just 2 puppies. That's our family and ourselves.
Yeah.
And
what kind of puppies are they?
They are Papillons.
Papillons.
Yeah, little butterfly ear
Cuties.
Papillons.
Yeah.
They're Tia and Tuxedo. They're our little kids.
That's adorable.
And they bark at everything, and they drive us crazy, but we love them, and
it's a good thing they're so adorable, right?
They are, yes. Yes, that's their payment for being so cute. They get to bark.
That's right.
But no, they're great, and it's we've got a very simple life, and we try to be comfortable, but not go in excess or anything. We like to go on a few trips a year, keep things contained and minimalistic, which we like, and it's great. No, so she's a wonderful, and she's a good partner too. She is a business partner for mine too. So she co-owns the agency, and
that's great.
She keeps us straight with financials and all the things behind the scenes so I can go focus on insurance, and it's a great partnership. So I'm very blessed to have her in my life, and she does a good job for us. And
That's
I love
awesome.
her. She's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as community involvement goes, I've kind of been involved with boards over the course of career. There's a passion there. Usually I try to go into organizations that I have a connection with. I don't like it to be a resume builder. I want it to have meaning, Again, a remnant from the Sid Benak days. And we also kind of partner with those who partner with us. So we have a lot of business clients. We focus a lot on nonprofit here in the county. We have a couple of exclusive programs for nonprofits that we really enjoy to work with. So pretty much if it's a nonprofit in the county, we usually work with it, with a couple small exceptions. But so that being said, we do a lot of sponsorships, a lot of give backs to those organizations, and we just love it. We love supporting them. But right now I'm actively involved with Environmental Learning Center. I'm on their board, and Veterans Council. So
nice.
There are 2 that I'm involved with, and I think that's enough for now. We get a little busy sometimes with
keep you hopping. Those are 2 very active organizations.
They are.
Yeah.
And I love them both. I mean, they're both amazing organizations, and they do great work for the communities. And
it's the environment, Joe.
I know,
It's
I see the fuzzies. But here's the thing about nonprofits, and this is why we do it. Nonprofits do some of the most amazing work for children, elderly, homeless, you name it, right? Animals, everything. And unfortunately, because of what they do, they don't have a lot of money, they don't have a lot of stuff to insure, they don't have buildings out there. Some do, but most of them don't. So premium size is rather small. In our industry, the agents go towards where the money is. So while they provide some of the best services, they get the least amount of representation. They don't get people calling them back. There's minimum premium thresholds they have to meet to be able to talk to an agent. It's really kind of bizarre. So I really want to kind of focus on a lot of that because they deserve it. They deserve help. They do, and they need help. Like they're trying to navigate this complex world and nobody's paying them any attention.
Right.
So they do matter, and it means a lot to us to be partnered with them, and we do that. So that is a passion of mine too. So,
yeah. Tell us a little bit maybe about what you're hoping to do in the future. Are we growing the agency? Are we retiring anytime soon?
Not
what's
quite
happening?
Retiring yet. We've got another few more years left. But
okay.
It's weird because even to have these conversations, I remember it seems like it was yesterday where I was working for Sid, and now all of a sudden I'm looking
changing the light bulbs.
Changing light bulbs, and now it's like, oh, in a few years I might be 60. It's just bizarre how fast it happens.
It creeps up on you.
It does. So I think what I would like to do is grow the agency. There is a big void in our industry about young recruitment. There really is. The age outs are going to happen in the next 10 years. So the people before me have gone. We're kind of it now, and then after us, there's nothing. Until like the 25-year-olds. Yeah. So we need to kind of find a concession plan as an industry, and I'm looking for agents and people that I can partner with and bring them on board and train them if I have to. I mean, I actually do that now. I do an internship class for Florida State.
Oh, that's great.
Risk management. Yeah. We do. We have a university that I've put together that trains young producers, young agents in the field that work for Sihle. So they might come from other places or starting fresh. And we have this class we put together that's pretty intensive, and there's pass fail, there's tests, there's procedures and presentations, and it's fun. It's a give back, and I love doing that.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. But locally, I would love to have a couple of other agents come on board with us for sure. Yeah. And then maybe 15 years from now, I might look at retiring, but I'd like to have a person in place to kind of leave it to afterwards.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that is a great opportunity for somebody who's looking to build a career then to kind of be able to take over an existing agency with a book of business and a brand and all of that. Yeah.
I would have loved that opportunity when I was younger. But, it's just different times. But, it's I love what I do, and I love the community I work in. I've had options to go other places over the years, and I've always stayed here in town because it's my home. I love it here. Yeah. And I just want to keep it going, and until I get too old, which is coming.
Well,
fast.
We don't wish that on any of us. We're all going to keep kicking for a little while longer.
That's right. Yeah. And, but the industry is always changing. You never know it all. There's always more to learn, and when you think you got it figured out, things all change. So that's the fun part about what we do. Yeah. We also get to make a lot of long-lasting relationships with friends and family and clients and things. So learning, and for me, even though we do everything, I gravitate more towards commercial lines. It's complex. It's different every time. Every business is unique, and it's a way to kind of learn and understand and grow with the business sometimes. Yeah. And you're solving problems. You're really solving problems a lot with how people might find an audit bill that comes through that they suddenly owe a lot of money and they don't understand it. Or there's a claim that happens from another agent and it's not paid and they don't understand why. So we get those calls. And
what's an audit bill?
So businesses that, like if it's a restaurant or a construction company or manufacturer, they have policies on the commercial side that are based on what they call rating factors. So the premium is basically a calculation of sales or payroll times a rate equals your premium. So when you have a restaurant that comes in and says, we do $100,000 in sales for the first year, that's how the policy's written.
And then they grow and it changes.
Yeah, at the end of the year, they come in and say, well, you really did $1 million and you claimed 100, so we've got to charge you for the difference. That's an audit. And if it's not properly explained, they get this sudden bill and they don't understand it. So what'll happen is they'll call me and say, why did I get this $40,000 bill that I wasn't ready for? And I look at it and say, well, because you were charged based on a payroll or sales amount that didn't annualize until actually it compounded times 10. Good for you, you've had more business, but you have to pay the insurance guy.
Yeah.
And they get really upset because they don't understand that. Again, one of those things that agents will manipulate from a cost standpoint. We see it all the time. So restaurants go out and shop their insurance. The agent comes in and cuts the sales. The premium just drops down mathematically. But, oh yeah, the audit's going to catch you next year.
Yeah.
And you always pay. It always comes back at the end. And that's a tactic that's kind of used sometimes too. And it's unfortunate because those are the games that are being played. That's why I say that the ones who are intentional versus the ones who don't know are more dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's interesting because I think also part of what this conversation is reminding me is that for every business that we have in this town or anywhere in our country is, there's insurance to pay, there's taxes to pay, there's all kinds of charges and overhead that every business owner is responsible for. And so when, somebody has to raise menu prices or, the cost of a service or something, sometimes I feel like because we're a small town, you hear people are like, oh, can you believe they raised the rate on this? But you've got to, I hope that as good neighbors and friends, we can look at our friends that are in business and say, you know what, they probably had a rate hike somewhere along the line. And unfortunately, that's just kind of now the cost of doing business.
Right.
Yeah. And, we want to keep supporting our local businesses and keep seeing them do well. And, we've got to kind of figure out how to make allowances for that.
Sure, absolutely. And there's nothing worse for a business to get an unseen insurance bill, which affects all of that bottom line. Money just doesn't happen. Like it has to come from sales and operational costs.
Right. It's got to get factored in.
Sure.
And if it wasn't originally, now you're paying on the back end. Yeah.
There's a lot of pain with insurance, and those are the reasons why. People don't understand it. Things like that happen, and they get mad at the system of things when it's really just an informational process with the broker that they use. But we get a lot of help me kind of calls, and sometimes we can give them advice and send them on their way, and other times we can do better. So, but I'm always happy to help. I always throw that out there. Not a sales pitch. I've been doing this a long time, and I'm happy to give free advice, and I believe in karma, so it'll come back someday if you help others. So that's just the reality of it.
Perfect.
Yep.
Well, we want people to be able to reach you.
Yes,
apparently, they can catch your number on the bus. Yeah. But in case somebody didn't see the Go line today, do you want to tell them what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Sure. Again, my cell phone is always the best. All calls come to my cell phone if I'm not at the office. So we're located in downtown, right next to the United Way building. So
on 14th Avenue, on Main Street.
On Main Street.
Yep.
1826 14th Ave, and we're Suite 101. Been there for a couple of years. Love it. Great place.
It's a beautiful space.
I love it. It's a great spot. And my number is 772-473-1100. Easy number to remember. And obviously my email address, which I'm sure they'll put on the screen.
Yes.
Always available, probably to a fault. So if there's a late night request, or usually on the weekends, I'll probably answer you. But that's just more of a me thing. So by all means, reach out. I'm happy to help. Any questions, not just commercial, but any lines. And if I can't answer it, I'll probably find you somebody who can. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for the opportunity.
I learned a few things today, so this was very informative.
And I love the drinks that were made. So
yes, thank you, Ray, for that.
Thank you, Ray, for that.
We're going to sit and finish them and then walk home. So everyone, thanks so much for joining us. Go learn more about Joe. Click on all the links in the description. Follow him everywhere. Follow us everywhere. And we'll see you guys next time for more coffee, cocktails, and capitalism. Thanks, everyone. Cheers.